This programme is brought to you by Vinny.co.uk.
Very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Champions League pool. Those of you watching live with us on Free Sports have joined us a little late and you missed most of what was an exceptional performance in our opening game by Mike King. Our next match, though, is up on deck and it sees Chris Melling take to the table, something we are very, very excited to see here on Free Sports. A real superstar of the game, Simon.
Yeah, no question. One of the big names of the whole competition. When the draw came out, he was one of the first names I saw to see when they'd be playing, because he draws a lot of attention, and he comes in here with incredible CV and incredible reputation. He comes in here as a favourite for the group as well, but he'll have watched that first match like we all did, and he knows now that he's going to have to really find his game if he wants to compete with that performance we've just seen.
That's Chris with the break. And he has made a ball, so he'll come to the table first. A reminder, those of you just joining us, perhaps 20-minute matches, 20-second shot clock. The winner of the match will be the man leading when the clock hits 0, or the first to 4 frames, whichever one comes first. Winner of each match takes 2 points. The draw will earn each player 1. Everyone plays each other, and the one sat at the top of the pile at the end of the night goes through to the quarterfinals, and it is some gauntlet that will have to run through the quarterfinals as well. Chris at the table, and already a couple of quite canny little shots just to open things up. That in itself was really effective. The Reds just above the triangle area now goes to the bottom left. Simon, I know he's a player you've admired for many a year. What is it about his game that sets him apart?
It's more what he's achieved. I mean, his patterns, the way he plays, the way he goes about his clearances, the way if he gets into trouble, the shots he can come up with to come out of them, just incredible, really. Everything about his game is so fantastic. But with what he's achieved in the game, he really is a top player. And he's starting off in fine style here.
Yeah, he was telling you, I think, before the night started, that he's barely played over the course of the whole coronavirus pandemic, lockdowns, etc. If I could pick up a cue after 12 months and play like that, I'd be pretty happy. But Chris Melling is on the board against Hiten. Patel, a perfect start.
Yeah, take a year off and first visit to the table, break dish. That is Chris Melling. It's incredible, really. Well,
don't lose it, dear. I'm the wrong person to ask, really, but
Chris looks pretty comfortable, happy with his start, very similar to the way that Mike King started in his match. Really got off to a flyer. Those of you that missed it, it was 3 straight finishes from the break. It was only a missed 8 ball in frame 4 that cost him the 4 straight finishes from the break. But he did manage to wrap up the match 4-0.
Second frame.
And we can hear from Mike King to find out how he thought about that first match.
Yeah, we certainly can. He joins us now. Mike, big congratulations on that first performance. One iffy shot aside, it was about as good as it got.
Yeah, encouraging start. My shoulder nearly hit the lampshade on that missed black. I think I moved so much. But other than that, pretty decent start. I know I'm going to have to play like that tonight to get through this tough group.
How difficult was it to come in onto this table right off the rip and put in a performance like that? Because so far in this competition, we've seen the first matches of the night actually be quite cagey whilst people get used to the table and the run of the balls, etc. You flew off it.
They're perfect conditions, so sometimes it goes for you and you can play like that. I'll go out there in the next match and could just as easily struggle. It's as simple as that, this game sometimes. We've all had a long break from the game, long layoff, so it's a bit of a lottery how any of us are going to play, I think.
And in terms of that layoff, how nice is it to be back playing pool in a proper tournament?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, even as just a pool fan, when you got the organiser of the Supreme Series and the organiser of the shootout mixed together to make one event, it could only be a success. So I'm just delighted to be invited. Thanks to Ultimate Pool for getting me on board, and looking forward to the rest of the event.
Yeah, not just here to make up the numbers, mate. It's looking good for you after that first performance. Can't wait to watch you.
Thank you.
Back to you, Si.
Yeah, it really was a stunning opening performance and hit the ground running. That's exactly what Chris Melling is trying to do. Already a break dish to his name, 1-0 ahead. Good opportunity here to follow it up with a reverse dish. He does need to play a couple of very good positional shots. In fact, he may well have played for this gap now, and he's going to play the red and develop the 8 ball at the same time. The problem he has when he plays this shot, not guaranteed to be on his next ball. Odds are in his favour, but not guaranteed.
Well, it's just shows how he's feeling, doesn't it? To be able to play a positional shot that is so eye of the needle. It had to be just about perfect, and it was. This is a tough one. Did just sneak into the middle, and I tell you what, from the two fellas who we thought might be favourites tonight, you know, you had Chris Melling and Mike in the first match. They have started like a train. I mentioned in the interview, we've not really seen it so far. Although Chris has got a tough shot here. He's run out of position quite considerably after hitting that yellow. He's looking at something a little bit creative.
This is when you can get very excited as a Chris Melling fan, because as good as he can play with his patterns and take out relentless clearances, when he has a tough shot to play, he normally comes up with something special. Oh, it was tracking as well. It was tracking.
The double kiss doesn't quite go his way. So a first look at Hiten Patel. A wry smile. It was almost there for Chris, but it just hit the yellow on his way back down the table, and it derailed his entire plans, really. It's a shot to nothing from Hiten. If he pots that ball, happy days. If he doesn't, he's not left Chris with much, but as we've seen already, he's something of a Houdini when it comes to this sort of tricky situation.
I think he's the best player I've ever seen at trying to pop balls from snooker positions. I've not seen anyone that can do it to the same level that Chris can do it. And given the big build-up, and he misses the ball altogether, which is a rare one.
Commentator's curse strikes.
Let's not pass that one on to Chris, but normally he's so good in that situation. But I have to remind, it reminds us this is his first match on this table, and hasn't got used to the table or the cushions just yet.
And it's credit where credit's due. That's exactly what Hiten played for. You know, put the snooker on him, developed his bad ball in the process, and now has the clearance at his mercy here. Similar to what we saw at the end of the first match, a good chance here for Hiten with a pretty straightforward first clearance to have a go at. A lot of margin for error on this, but not that he's needed it.
He would have loved an extra couple of rolls on that one, though. Just going to make position onto the last ball slightly trickier. If it passes the red to the bottom left, it helps. But even while I think he's probably a little bit too thin to be able to play on it in that ball. That's why he's taking it to the top pocket now.
How's your recovery shot?
A little bit thinner than he wanted, but he'll take this. I think he can just drop it on and hold. Yeah, he can. Played it off the thickest part of the pocket.
Beautifully recovered by Hiten Patel, who is one each with Chris Melling. Nicely played. And we are really off and running tonight in Group 7. Great start from all of our players. But Hiten, the hitman Patel from Wolverhampton, has been ranked as high as 7th on the UK Tour. That was a little while ago, though. An Indian international for 15 years. Almost a tour winner multiple times as well.
I went and had a look at that ranking list when he was 7th on the UK Tour, and it was a who's who of the pool world in the top 6 above him. It really was an incredible lineup, and if he's you know, mixing it with those guys as he was then. He is a very talented ball player.
Well, the 8 balls on the move. Remarkably, not a single ball off that break is going to go down. It's a good hit this from Chris Melling, and he can probably count himself as pretty unlucky not to have made a ball. Did see our first golden break of the competition last week, and our second.
Yeah, I don't think I never actually did the calculations. It was something like 180 frames without a golden break, and then 2 consecutive.
Absolutely amazing. Rumours of Craig Lakin appearing on Judge Rinder to counteract those golden break discrepancies are yet to be founded. But
Yeah.
I think I'd feel pretty aggrieved.
It should be.
Yeah, too good not to be. And an interesting scenario here in our opening gambit, really, of this third frame. Neither player is allowing the other a start. It's an awkward lie for that first shot. Both have played consistent snookers, and both have played them pretty well, it has to be said. No one's offered up an opening just yet, and Chris Melling is having to really scratch his head.
Yellow ball in pipe.
The worry for Hiten here is that he plays himself into trouble, as Simon said. Has to be careful. It's a difficult clearance. If he makes it, fantastic. If he doesn't, he's probably going to lose the frame, because these reds are looking better by the ball. Although that has come up all right for him, I'd say, tentatively.
Yeah, you've got to say that very tentatively when Chris Melling's about, but it was a loose one there from Hiten, and it's given Chris half a chance here.
Such a lovely opening shot, wasn't it? Just perfectly played to free that red on the rail.
Yeah, he wants to get, if he gets a good angle on these reds at the bottom, one red on the bottom, he can open up the other red. Question mark is whether the black will still go. He might play into the yellow and black. He's going to move the red directly. Hard to see this going too well. Yeah, it was hard to see him open everything up and get the cue ball out in the open from that angle.
Yeah, 2 out of 3, wasn't it? Red out, 8 ball out, not the cue ball out.
That's why I was wondering whether he might play. I didn't know whether the red went into the right centre pocket and whether he could play some sort of very tight control shot.
Oh, he talked about him being Houdini.
Oh, wow.
Goodness me.
Wow, that's incredible effort.
I would love to know, did this hit the yellow or did he actually swerve past it?
Oh, he swerves past it.
He is a centimetre away from playing the best shot I've ever seen.
That really is. I mean, well, they do call him the magician.
Yeah, for good reason. Goodness gracious me, that was nearly unbelievable.
Although we've given him the big build-up, and quite rightly so.
But he's about to go 2-1 down.
Yeah, exactly. Pressure is very much on Chris Melling here.
Hiten had to pretty force that yellow in to get the white off the cushion. Give himself a decent angle to end up on this 8 ball, but he's all right. A good opportunity here to go in front. 8 minutes left, still plenty of time for multiple frames, but it's always good to lead in these short formats. It's difficult to come from behind, and that's what Chris Melling is going to have to do. Magic wand or not. This is what we're talking about when we're talking about the magician. And from Keighley is the Mosconi Cup MVP, two-time world master, and a two-time world champion. He is one of the greats.
Yeah, and we could, if we had more graphics or more space, we could fill up 2 or 3 more pages full of these graphics with his titles that he's won. And it's not just been in this version of the game. He's won titles in this version, in 9-ball, in Chinese 8-ball, and he's also been a snooker professional. It really is incredible what he's done with the cue in his hand.
Oh, he's jumping out of his chair at this opportunity, and it's not hard to see why. Hiten Patel has creamed this break, hit it so beautifully, but he has tracked it straight into the top left corner. Look at the split he's left.
And look how quickly Chris Melling jumped out of his chair as well. He was out, he knew the cue ball was flying in and he wasn't hanging about, was he? Good split for him here. This shot here should open everything up. It went directly. I thought you had to play a plant there. The fact that went directly just makes everything wide open. The red at the top right, maybe half blocking the pocket. I think there's enough room. You want to get right behind it though. And you'd want to get it out the way sooner rather than later. I don't think he can play it next shot. Well, he can't play it next shot from right behind it, but from here he can.
He needs to be right behind the half pocket. That's how easy you can win a frame. It's a great break from Hiten. Really was a terrific hit. But in doing so, he left a pretty favourable spread for the magician, who didn't take much time to make those balls disappear.
Yeah, it was 2 or 3 very good shots to start that visit, but once he's got them out the way, it was always a reverse dish. It was going to happen, and he's back in the match. Still time for him.
Yeah, so there could be a long way left in this match as well. For those who aren't too familiar with our shootout format, 6-7 minutes can be 3-4 frames, or it can just be the one. Really does change and alter depending on so many different factors. As we saw there, the frame was won in barely over a minute. Chris Melling, he's got the break here. 8 balls on the move again. That's something to keep an eye on through tonight, and he has made a ball. I'll tell you what, this already looks like a pretty dangerous split. He's got a quick calculation to make here, reds or yellows, and then after that, he should be in and amongst it, because just from a quick bit of cigarette paper patterns, every ball has a pocket. It's a wonderful spread.
You'd say with the yellows that he's taking on, one decent positional shot to land on this yellow on the left-hand side. Into the red. Oh, perfect. Lovely shot. And now they are all open.
Shot like that, you see so many players deliberate over and really do everything to try and play and maybe give themselves a 70% chance of making it, maybe a little bit less, a little bit more. It just seems to be a natural ease at which Chris plays those difficult shots, pinches pockets from the full length of the table to hold the white. Such a ludicrously natural player.
Yeah, it really comes naturally to him, it does, but he works hard as well. He's got beautiful cue action, gets through the ball as well as anybody. I think that's part of the reason why he can break so well. And this is another fantastic visit to the table, made to look so much easier than it really is.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It's been made to look so easy, but that wasn't a particularly easy clearance at all. And Chris Melling, from being 2-1 down a couple of minutes ago, is now 3-2 up. Still plenty of time left, but Hiten Patel can now afford no mistakes. Chris Melling is a frame away from securing his first win of the night in Group 7 of the Champions League pool.
Well, what a start to the night we've had. Well, we've had now 8 frames of pool, 6 of them have been cleared from the break. That's a pretty impressive start.
It's been such a high standard tonight already. I thought that in the first game. We didn't really actually have time to touch on it after I spoke to Mike, but it was such an impressive performance from him.
Frame 6.
You know, he missed an 8 ball and that was it. In the entire time he was at the table, 3 frames, 1 off the break. He then got a chance to recover his 8 ball miss 2 shots later. Phenomenal standard being played by all out there so far. It's another absolute jackhammer of a break from Hiten Patel.
Yeah, look how well he catches this.
You'll see it beautifully in the slow-mo here. Just watch the white ball, that's the key.
It's just a massive explosion, and they've just split out open perfectly. And needs to make sure, but great chance to tie this up and take it to a deciding frame.
One advantage that Chris Melling does have is in breaking first, he will break in a potential decider. On the lag before the match to decide who breaks first. And that is a big advantage in a potential deciding frame. Which we are staring down the barrel of here, but Hiten Patel just needs to make sure. He'll know winning this frame isn't by any means a guarantee, but he can only do what's in front of him. Make Chris Melling go and win it. We've seen so far it's not been a guarantee off the break. And Hiten Patel has found himself in no man's land. He's either 6 inches short or 6 inches long, either way.
Yeah, I think he was playing for the one into the bottom right corner first, but he has landed in no man's land. Now trying to play this off the yellow.
Extension call.
Yeah, wise use of his extension here.
Has to control the cue ball as well.
Which is why he played it off the yellow, and he's not too far away. He could have cut that in, of course, but the white would have been careering around the table.
It was very thin. It was probably just about cut, but yeah, it would have been. The control on the cue ball was going to be tough.
So then Chris Melling with a chance to go and win the match, and these yellows are just about all there for him. It's not come out too kindly, actually. He trusted a little bit to luck there with where those yellows would end up after the 3-ball plan.
Just not on his next ball. It looks like he's eyeing up another plan. He's going to have to make his mind up very quickly. He plays safe. Has he gone far enough?
It's not a particularly good shot, that, from Chris Melling. He's got the snooker, which is his first priority, but the 2 yellows at the top of the table will now need solving. And
he may not get that opportunity.
Can probably swerve around this. Yeah, he could. Where's the white? A let off.
Time running.
A real let off. Just needed to swerve a touch further, and he was there.
No doubt that's a let off for Chris Melling. Okay, the split could have come out kind of when he played that 3-ball plant, but his safety shot wasn't his best. And on another day, that cue ball stays on the table, and Hiten takes it to a deciding frame. Chris does have this opportunity, and now they are in the open, and he does have control of the cue ball.
Yeah, it should be Chris Melling's match at this point. He doesn't even need to necessarily rush the clock or anything like that. If he makes this clearance, it's done. He can take his time in that sense, as much time as he can take in a 20-second shot clock. I think the early indicators are, Simon, that we're in for an absolute belter tonight.
Yeah, a couple of players in brilliant form.
A great start from both players, but it's Chris Melling who takes the win in his first match of the night. The Magician in fine fettle as he takes a 4-2 victory over Hiten, the Hitman Patel. Closer game than the scoreline maybe suggested then, because Hiten had a real opportunity there, Simon, to take it 3-all with a little bit over a minute remaining. It really was up in the air for a moment there. It wasn't guaranteed by any means.
Yeah, at 2-1, it looked like it was going to go the other way, but that reverse dish and from Chris got himself going, and then that opportunity, the next time that Hiten gets an opportunity, he's 3-2 behind and just ran out of position and felt like he probably deserved to take it to a deciding frame, but that loose positional shot, slightly unlucky when he potted a ball from a snooker, and that was his match over, really.
Yeah, it certainly was. We've got plenty more on the way for you. 4 matches still to play tonight in Group 7 of the Champions League pool when we return.
This programme is brought to you by Vinny.co.uk.